And if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside cannot do any harm.
It's taken me quite.
Yeah.
If you have come to terms with how it is, we've had this conversation.
Yes.
Inside, I have all the chips are down. We've discussed it and talked about it. I know what my weaknesses, I'm working on them. I know my strengths, I'm using them. There is nothing you will say or do that will bring me any lower than I have already taken myself. And there's nothing that you will say or do that will preclude or obstruct me from taking myself as high as I can. So I've dealt with that enemy inside. So you who is outside trying to say, is trying to do, it's okay. Can continue, but it's not going to affect me either way. I think this is one of self-reflection, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of the person within you that you can actually use to scale heights.
Yeah.
That you can come above all those challenges and those struggles. That the person outside who may try to bring you down, my friend, if I've brought myself down, we have had a conversation at the basement. And the basement has no ground floor. This is it. We're at ground zero. We're already there. There's nothing you can do that will bring me any lower than I've already taken myself. So there's no... we're at the bottom floor.
Exactly.
We're going up.
Yeah. Also speaks about... There's a story that is told about the Mau Mau during the fight. And there is this one individual who was close to one Adid and Kimathi. And it is told on how he was behind... Didn't Kimathi being captured,
Yeah.
despite the fact that they were very close with the man. So you look at how the enemy within shared that critical information that ended up Dedan Kimathi being captured, So that goes to speak in terms of most of the time when you look at the problems that do exist or troubles that people experience on a daily basis. If you just pause and look at the person you talked to, the person you shared with the most intimate aspects of your life, perhaps they're using that information against you. So,
yeah.
So goes to speak in terms of who is this person that you're sharing critical information with, and do you trust them?
My goodness. Okay.
And if there are, if you look at there is problems that you're going through, do you know where to start from to solve it?
To solve them. What? Heavy stuff this morning.
Heavy.
Ooh-wee.
Madinka people.
I'm telling you, these guys. All right. Well, that's it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of self-reflection going on this morning, isn't it? And as you get into the room today, let us know where you're tuned in from and tell us your name. And the folks who, tune in every day, many, many folks who don't comment here. So this is not just the size of it, but the folks that who do, send us a message and say hello. We always recognize you and we thank you for coming in every morning. So watch it to Salimiana. Sindio. Peter Kiaria is tuned in this morning from Mombasa. Knowledge will give you power, but character earns respect. Indeed. You're tuning in from Mombasa. So very, very good morning to you. Robert Tiboga also tuning in from Mombasa. Robert Minor. Okay, how many Roberts in a row? Good morning to you. Jeffrey says good morning. Greetings from Doha is Robert Minor. Another. Okay, that's another. Okay. He said, Daniel, tune in this morning. Team Spice says good morning. Tibbs Moke says good morning, Spice FM team. Karibu Sana. Jeffrey is in Hungary. All right. Ramtula Omar says, good morning. Tune in from Preston, UK. ICC loading for Suluhu. Suluhu. Is that what the conversation is? Ndu, what 5 languages do you speak? Oh, right. You asked me that, didn't you? Okay, well, here we go. Is English compared? Is one of them?
So English?
So I speak Igbo, I speak Hausa, I speak a bit of Yoruba, I speak French, of course, and Spanish, and then Kiswahili. So that's 6.
6.
Isn't it? And I'm learning right now. I'm learning Arabic. I'm actually doing Arabic lessons. If you'll tell me, have you not read enough books? No, I'm actually doing Arabic lessons right now.
I want to learn Portuguese.
I know why you want to learn Portuguese. This guy, before you went to Belém, you did not want to learn Portuguese.
Let me tell you.
Now that you've gone and seen and come back, he said, this language I must learn.
I was staying in an apartment 454, and opposite there was this lady called Caterina.
Of course.
Caterina, there is this Brazilian dish called pastel. So pastel is it's like It's just pasta with a lot of minced meat inside and this Brazilian sauce. So every evening I would pass by Katerina's shop to just have pastel. You guys.
So now we must know how to communicate with Katerina and her pastel.
Because you see also Katerina doesn't care that you don't speak Portuguese.
So
she'll just whip her phone. Please write here.
If you want my pastel, you have to speak the Portuguese.
Google will do that thing.
Okay, I'm sorry, Evie.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we understand. Don't worry. It's good because it's related to Spanish, one of the romantic languages. Interestingly enough, and romantic in this case is not for love. It's the era that we speak of where this languages came from.
Yeah.
Sawa.
Yeah.
All of them, of course, with their base roots Latin. So you'll be okay. Don't worry. We egg you on. Tibbs Muge says, good morning, tuned in. So, Rahim Tula, did I answer your question? There it is. Jimmy Munothi says, good morning and good day. George Adimo tuned in from Rongo. Hello, Princess Ndu and Mr. Seto. Good morning. It was interesting and Dindinyoro the other day, yesterday at Parliament, when common sense and duty are at play, Parliament is great to follow. Ooh-wee. Okay. Leo, I'm getting into it. Will Ethiopia, as the presumed genesis of Africa, split, ignite? Okay, I'm not understanding. Maybe use some commas here so we can get what you're saying. Helen Ioti says, I love Spice FM Situation Room. We love you, Helen. Kabisa. Thank you for tuning in every morning. Thank you. And we'll just always try to do right in these conversations that we have. Linda Gola says, bonjour, mes amis. Bonjour, mon ami. How are you doing? Boaz Naliana says, good morning, tuned in from Keitale. And David Magara is tuned in this morning. Glad to be here. Karibu Sana. Catherine Nyambura, tuned in. Amazing people. Princess Ndo and Dennis Aseto. Salimia Dennis Okari too. Salimia. In fact, we're calling him today. Keep shining, Asante Sana. And thank you for helping us shine. My prince, good morning. Trump has ordered vetting of all Kenyans living in the U.S. You and your swali tutauliza bros. Akikuja up 9 o'clock. We failed to do it. US will do it for us. It's a question that we'll have to ask.
Yeah, true.
And so that is my prince. We have to be here at 9 o'clock, so we can ask exactly what is going on with this vetting. Good morning, Spice FM. Tuned in from Chile, Mombasa is Joseph Okondo. Pan-African Kenyan is tuned in from Nairobi. And Nyakundi Emmanuel says, good morning, Team Spice. Things are boiling nicely. Sindio, the simmer is simmering.
Sin simmer.
Okay. Good morning, watching from Portland, Oregon. All dreams are valid, says Mashari and Jeru. But this of Kenya being first world with this kind of leadership is not a dream, but a nightmare. Okay. So I went back to my international relations notes at some point yesterday in part of the studying that I'm doing. We shouldn't actually be saying first world, second world, third world, because those terminologies came from an era whereby the capturing of the world by those who then became new colonies after leaving England is how they described it as the first world, a cabal of countries. Yeah. We should be talking about developing and developed.
Yes.
And according to even United Nations conversations that were had earlier, we're talking about developing and developed. Nobody's first, second, and third here.
Yeah.
So we should actually move from that conversation. Excuse me, hello? Government? Okay.
Yes.
Please pick my call. SLB says, good morning, guys. We are inside paying attention. Kabisa. Keep on encouraging us as you're doing a good job. You're spicing people in this bitter life. Have a good day. Asante Sana. Abdullah Muhammad says, good morning. Rahim Tula says, you like Ndu's coat. It's okay, sour.
It's a blasso.
Thanks. Ayenda says, good morning. You have been spiced, kabisa. Today, ambia askari kazi ya ni utumishi kwa wote. Nini yo?
Utumishi kwa wote? Service to all.
Oh, right. Okay. Sawa. Tunechi, you have to tell us where you're from. Maybe you pronounce your name differently, but in my language, I have decided that you are from, Southern Delta states.
Yeah.
So you must tell me if it's not the case.
I was watching something the other day on the net, and there's this lady in the UK was asked, "What's your name?" "I'm Lola." You know, then the guy asked, "Are you Nigerian?"
Lola
"Yes."
Mide.
"Lola, your name is Lola, not Lola." Your name be Lola, not Lola.
Which one?
Lola.
Which one? Na Lola.
Which one na Lola?
I love it. Hey. Ramtula Aura says, we lost a Bollywood actor, Dharmendra, on Monday. As an Asian Kenyan, many of us have lost an icon. Well, may he rest in peace. I mean, obviously, we know that music and culture and drama is a carry-on of nations. So... Jeffrey says, good morning, love the song and the interpretation of it, isn't it? Bwangi Juma student this morning, how are you all this blessed Wednesday? Mind you, it's a rehearsal for Fire, See Fire. Mimi ni fire, see fire. Mimi see fire. Si mimi ni mama.
Kumaliza wewe. Nasikia bizi yangu. Yo, don't joke.
God will punish us. I know.
Just repeat that again.
Nini?
Mimi noma sina. Noma.
Mimi see fire.
Fire.
Mimi see fire, see fire.
Fire.
Okay. Sorry. Dr. Venvik is tuned in. We see you. Quite a chilly morning in Doha. Spiced up morning would really come through. We're bringing it, Kimmy. Good morning. Don Carter says, Ruto is the enemy within. Woo-wee. Why?
Yo. It was just a proverb from Senegal.
Linda Gola is saying, it is not me. Linda is saying, Dennis must have met a girl. Look at his face. All mushy. Able to be quickly say.
I met many girls in Brazil.
Linda, wait, don't worry. Linda, see me in the back. I'll talk to you later. Sawa. Good morning.
Just meeting.
Sawa.
Just met.
Oh, sawa.
Yeah.
Guka says, good morning. Tune in, Team Spice and Kenyans. Let's purpose to build good culture. That's how to build future. That's indeed listening from Githongore, Kabisa. Emily, good morning to you. And Izegi says, good morning, Spice team. Enjoying the conversation. Asante Sana. Good to see you guys. Thomas Osore says, good morning to you and Karibu Sana. Washington, Okechi, another one which I've decided, Okechi is God's time. Good morning, Spice. Tuned in from Massachusetts in Cambridge. Pan-African Kenyan says, Linda Golo, Aseto had to leave a little girl in Belém Town. He had to leave a little girl in Belém Town. Robert Miner, don't worry, we're here. This part of the show, Usijali. Mtuflani, today you woke up on time. See fire, kabisa. Eric Owar says, good morning. Sheila Masaba, we see you. Good morning, Tim Saram. Kuna joke sana. We are very sorry. We are not doing that again. Aki nyinyi, ndio noma na fire combined. Good morning. Timothy Wamudende, akiwasikia. Hey, sorry. We are behaving ourselves.
Yes.
From now, henceforthly. Let's take a look into the dailies and what is making the headlines in today's paper. We'll start with Kenya's bold newspaper, The Standard. Up in front is pictures of Deputy President Kithure Kindiki and Cabinet Secretary for Diaspora Affairs, Foreign Affairs, and Musalia Mudavadi, and a number of others. The headline is, for the politicians Ruto has quietly tasked with securing Mount Kenya, Western and the Pastoral Belt, tomorrow's polls are unforgiving. Victory strengthens their bargaining power heading into cabinet reshuffles, party realignments and coalition talks. Defeat, however, will expose them as liabilities. Leaders who can't shift votes, can't whip local loyalties, and can't deliver when it matters. In a government that measures value in raw numbers, failing at home is political suicide. Of course, there is the Deputy President and also Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. Moses Wetangula is the National Assembly Speaker. Amason Kingi is the Senate Assembly Speaker. And Hassan Ali Joho, CS Ministry of Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs. So it's a question of, it's not just a mini polls, not just a by-election, but it's also then what do you do for government and how are you able to move this? It is political, whether we want to imagine that the makeup of government is not. Anywhere in the world, the makeup of government is a political affair. How you do it within working systems is a totally different story. And should you be campaigning at this point? Probably not.
You see, if you look at these mini polls, we have candidates who are running for these offices. One would assume it is their job to go sell their agenda and to convince the electorate to give them their votes, not cabinet secretaries. And the president should not even care on who will be voted in, because at the end of the day, he is supposed to work with each and every single Kenyan, whether in government or outside.
Indeed, it's true. Another blow to your Dinka family as Ryla's youngest sister passes away. A tough one to see. She's also served in different capacities. And may she rest in peace. And then to have this less than a month, or just a little bit over a month that this has happened is tough. 10 candidates battle Kasipul by-election seat. Did you know that there were 10 candidates in the Kasipul by-election? There are 10. A girl stranded in India after state health cover ends. It is not my intention to annoy you this morning. This is a story in the Standard. The story of Fiona Wajiko requires urgent third kidney transplant. It costs 6.5 million shillings, and she is currently outside the country. Of course, seeking assistance. Health cover run out. Can't sort that out. Godfathers hold their breath as mini polls gambles comes to a head. Tomorrow is going to be the day. Bare knuckle fights as Ruto allies rivals vie for poll prize. Push to strip IEBC powers to retally presidential vote gains momentum. Remember that this is a push and it's a petition that's coming in from the senator for Busia County, which is Okia Umtata. And it's to say, you know what? You don't have to come and count again. We said polling station, polling center, returning officer, it's final. This business of then coming back and counting again and then give us results, then people sleep as though it's a campfire sleepover in Bomas. Well, there's no Bomas anymore. So now, Twenda Wapi, at wherever the place will be. In fact, maybe this is good because they're saying you actually don't need to do that. You can call the election at the polling center.
Polling center, yeah.
So, half-baked medics, sham training exposed in study. Ooh. See, these guys just give us a moment. We have not finished one. We are going to another. A survey by the HPOA has revealed commercialized medical courses in Kenya compromises patient safety. We will look at that story later. Just, cool your temper just a little bit. Still some of the headlines in the Standard today. Sakaja defends city funds shift to city and bank. Senators query the move. We know that Senate was hot over the couple of days, and he was in before the Senate committee yesterday answering a couple of questions in terms of why he had to move it. Why did they move it? Whether they were satisfied or not, a whole different story. All right, sir.
Let's go to the Daily Nation. IEBC faces big test in mini polls now. Make or break, the Electoral Commission says it is all set to deliver credible by-elections tomorrow, which many Kenyans will be watching with an eye on 2027. Will new IEBC chairperson Erastus Ethekon and his team steer the hotly contested polls in a free, fair and transparent manner? Will the conduct restore confidence in the commission is the question. And again, the sad story of Ryla's sister dies in city, plunging the family into mourning again. A report, 6 in 10 school children struggle with reading and maths.
Say that again, please.
6 in 10 school children struggle with reading and maths. Are you surprised?
Do you remember the conversation that we had yesterday? Even the children that you're teaching, right? 60%. 60% of school children, according to this report, and of course, we want to know where the report is from, maths, basic, reading, basic. Reading is tied directly to comprehension. It's basic. And we are saying that as you people are fighting unions against unions, as you people are refusing to send capitation, as you're doing all of this, even what you're delivering to these learners is half-baked. Not even half-baked. It's 40% baked.
Yeah. And you see, at the end of the day, when we have all these fights and all these conversations yesterday on the show, we said the person who's center and critical and the biggest shareholders are the students, Are we focused on how we are making their lives better, or are we just fighting on which union is bigger than the other?
I can read that. Okay, sorry.
Unaweza kasirika. So, page 10 of this paper says, Thuge warns of debt distress amid ambitious borrowing. Yo, reduce appetite for loans, urges CBK boss.
Who is he telling?
The person who's borrowing.
Oh, okay.
The government of Kenya.
All right.
Treasury.
Okay. So.
Thuge warns of debt distress amid ambitious borrowing, as if we're already not in debt distress.
Oi.
You know? Ousted by MCAs for a third time, Nyaribo's fate lies in Senate again. That is on page 7. And ruling against military for HIV discrimination upheld. The Kenya Defence Forces has suffered a legal setback after the High Court upheld a ruling that found it guilty of discriminating against a recruit based on his HIV status and conducting an unauthorized test without proper counselling. There are procedures that have to be followed regardless of who you are. Junior school teachers lobby now threatens to quit Kupet. So there's
after yesterday.
Jana was Kujesta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are Kupet also.
Kupet also, yeah. It's a crash program for varsity students after strike. You remember that strike that lasted over 40 days?
Yeah.
Yeah, so now it is a crash program because they have to finish their syllabus in time.
In time.
This is what happens when people refuse not to sit down and agree.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. IEBC faces credibility test in mini polls, and state dishes out diplomatic posts to UDA nomination losers in Malava. Let me repeat that again. State dishes out diplomatic posts to UDA nomination losers in Malava. You went to a nomination.
Yes, please.
Right? One of you will emerge as the winner. But just because you lost, shika your diplomatic post for losing.
It's like you're trying to annoy me.
I know. I'm just telling you the truth, how things are. Broad-based blues wrangles test strength of Ruto-Raila deal. Over the weekend, we heard what Member of Parliament Kaluma said about broad-based government and his frustrations on how members of broad-based government were campaigning against their candidate.
Yeah.
President. Are things still rosy in broad-based?
No.
No? Okay. Did we see that coming?
Yes.
Yes? Are we surprised?
No.
No. 5 years on, family relieves horror as killer father is jailed.
Wow.
Tears, relief, and overwhelming emotion swept through a family in Bomet after a man who burned his wife to death using petrol during a domestic dispute was convicted and sentenced to 40 years in prison. One would say he deserves it. Sheesh. Agoye biashara?
Excuse me. Ruto Gachagua mini elections battle shifts to vote protection. That is what we see on the front page of the Star. Hustler Fund has built credit footprints for 27 million Kenyans. Did you know that? And of course, there is the story of how Raila saved his sister Beryl from, abusive MP. The chair of the IEBC, Erastus Ethicon, tells Kenyans there's no room for misconduct at the IEBC, so don't worry, everything is going to be okay. And this inquest or this trial into the case of rally driver who passed on, Maxine Mahome yesterday put up a spirited fight against charges of killing her boyfriend, rally driver Asad Khan. And so that, of course, continues. That case still going on. By-election battle, of course, everything still into the by-election. Borrowing from Paul to pay Peter, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. How Treasury spent 2.7 trillion debt. And, it's coming in from Nancy Gadongo's office to find out exactly what is going on with that. All right, that's what it looks like in the Star. And then just looking into some stories into detail this morning. You want to go with one or shall I?
You go first.
All right. So there is this particular story that might be This one, half-baked medics, sham training exposed in study. The midwife helping your wife to deliver, the lab technician testing your samples in hospital, or the caregiver looking after your aging parent may have trained at a college where classes run for just 2 months.
2 months.
Yes, 8 weeks. These are findings of a survey by the Health Professionals Oversight Authority. They're mandated to do this, which uncovered colleges employing tutors with the same qualifications as their students and admitting learners with widely inconsistent grades for identical courses. Revelations emerged yesterday during a joint meeting of the Health and Education Committees in the National Assembly, which brought together private health training colleges and academic regulators. The authority told MPs that preliminary findings from 152 institutions assessed showed that about 30 were not registered at all to offer medical training. Some institutions also did not provide students with supervised clinical practice before graduation. In other cases, training periods were inconsistent with stipulated requirements, with some offering diploma qualifications after as little as 2 months training. Jackson Kyoko, the HPOA, I'm going to call it that, chief executive, warned that these findings undermine competence and compromise patient safety. Well, duh. When you go on the ground, you find some things are completely different. Some institutions offer the same diploma in 2 months, while others take 3 years. Entry grades vary from D+ to D-, and many applicants do not even know the real requirements. Bora umelipa, we've applied, and after 2 months we give you them. We say, you can trot off and go and practice. And then you want to tell me that you see this base that we're looking at here, these are the kind of things that happen.
Yeah.
And then you want to tell me that developed world, here we come. These are the things that, did we look at the micro indicators of what gets you to becoming developed before we say that we are well on course towards being developed? No, this is it right here. The National Assembly was in a state of shock yesterday because you're telling them essentially that a diploma course, which would ordinarily in a recognized institution take 3 years, because you're essentially giving this person powers to practice medical training. In 3 years, you're going to give it to somebody in 2 months. Some people are not regulated and they come with a degree, a diploma, a certificate, not just the paper, but you're giving them the license to go and practice. We have a lot of work to do to get to that place. And these are the things that are allowed for because of money. You know, this thing, it was profound, whether you're religious or not.
Yeah.
That the love of money is the root of all evil.
True.
That you want something so badly that you're going to do anything to get it. This is it. That it compromises life at the end of the day. And then you wonder, somebody shows up with some crazy illness or some botched whatever. What do you expect? What do you expect?
You know, the saddest part, Ndu, is... You see, these institutions you're talking about do exist in our communities. And you'll be surprised that people know of what it is that is happening. That even when these reports coming in, these are stories that have been there for a very long time. The parents who paid for school fees and they've seen their children get these diplomas after 2 months. Yet we know there is nowhere in this country where a diploma is less than 3 years. That is stipulated. It is there and everyone knows. You would be surprised that there is a member of parliament who gave out bursaries to these children, to these Kenyans, and graduated after 2 months, and they never said nothing. So if you just look at the entire ecosystem of how it is all messed up, it starts from the community level where we as a people have allowed this mess to continue. Members of parliament have gone further to give out these bursaries without just taking the extra step to find out this institution that I'm paying for. Is it registered? The courses they are offering, are they as stipulated by the law? Or am I just giving out bursaries for the sake of giving it out because I want political mileage?
Yep.
If we all just paused for a moment and asked these difficult questions, we would be at a better place as a country. It is collective responsibility.
It is. It is. But I just feel that there are too many moving and unmoving parts. There are too many parts that are not coming together. And it gives me a lot of anxiety just thinking about it. And that's why I really agree with, excuse me, just going through some of the when we talk about an economy, we talk about things that we must do to get from point A to point B. And it sounds really basic, but Abraham Rugo, who is an economist, said, you know what needs to happen is that the different sectors of this society, this country that is needs to actually do breakaway sessions.
True.
You know how you go for a conference and then they say you go to Jambo room, you go to Rhino room, that's what needs to happen. It needs to be sorted from the bottom up. It needs to, you cannot tell me that you'll be developed at this stage. You tell me, how will you have universal health coverage if you're looking at a percentage of your health facilities that are giving away? I don't know, man. I don't even know how to say it and still make sense. How do you deliver something when your ingredients are not what they need to be? You cannot get there. And to me, it's very basic. And these are the things that you need to be working on. Where have you ever seen that a cake starts with the icing on top?
Oh, yeah. You know, and you just look at these institutions that you're talking about. They were set up. They were registered. There is a body that ought to go and do, what do you call it? Investigations, or always just visit to find out if they're offering that which they said they're doing. Where have these people been? The person who registered these things, Akoapi, and what are we doing about it? Because fine, we have a report. But remember, this report is being tabled after how long? How many people have suffered in the hands of individuals who are not qualified to practice in the medical field?
Exactly.
You know, how many Kenyans have we lost? We're talking as if it's just a report. But when you just pause to look at it, people have died. People have suffered.
People have walked away from botched procedures and will never be able to operate normally again.
People's lives have changed forever because of such things that you keep doing.
And we can't run away from the possibility that these would be as a result of this very thing that we're seeing. And it wasn't just some run-of-the-mill report. It's folks who have been mandated to find out exactly what's going on and then report to Parliament. And this is what we see. But the more painful thing for me is that you will find that this report, having been then brought before Parliament, it was discussed. What happens next?
Thank you. What happens next?
Do these institutions get shut down? Is there due diligence? Are they interrogated? Are the people who then got these certificates, are those things recalled and retracted and then you're told you can't practice anymore, but you must go back to school? Does that happen? Or do we just have a report, we're sensational about it on a Tuesday afternoon and then we come and make a noise about it on Wednesday morning and then we're done? What happens?
Do we even go further to just look at these institutions? Fine. These are the students who are affected, but these students reported to a certain institution. How many patients have gone into their hands? Do we have a report of how these patients are so that we have a complete overview of what exactly we're dealing with? You know, because it is more than just, it is an institution that was never registered.
No, it's more than that.
There are individuals who have been treated in one way or the other by these individuals. But even while at that, still in matters education, because remember these institutions that were not registered, but was in education.
Yes.
But there is concern because 6 in 10 children in low to middle income countries are unable to read simple sentence or solve basic mathematical problems. Alarmingly, 2/3 of these are currently in school. Now, the findings are contained in a new report by the People's Action for Learning Network that measured learning outcomes among 89,870 children aged 5 to 16 years across 12 countries. The results raise major concerns about the quality of education in many low-middle income countries, revealing that school attendance alone is not guaranteeing real learning. The report shows that Kenya leads its East African peers in achieving minimum proficiency levels in mathematics and reading, despite ongoing challenges such as teacher shortages and limited learning materials. MPLR International benchmarks defining what a child should know by the end of lower primary. They include basic reading comprehension and foundational numeracy skills such as working with whole numbers up to 100 and solving simple problems. However, even among the children that reach grade 9, not all can read with comprehension and do basic math, meaning that a huge chunk of them still do not meet these basic standards. According to the report, 43% of 10-year-olds in Kenya meet the MPL benchmark, compared to 33% in Tanzania and 4% in Uganda. Kenya's relatively strong performance indicates progress in foundational learning, although the country still trails behind higher performing nations such as Mexico, Nicaragua, and Pakistan.
To read a basic sentence,
Yes.
like what are like even when the best two teams in Europe right now, according to the Champions League table, stand for after 4 match days, Arsenal and Bayern
Yes.
Munich. So we are saying that a child in which grade?
Grade 9.
A child in grade 9. So that is a child who's going essentially into senior
school.
secondary school in January, is unable to read a basic sentence. Okay. Now, I would be very interested to know what are the factors that contribute to that state. Is it a combination of factors? Are we looking at school atmosphere? Are we looking at the learning
The methodology being used?
methodology being used? Are we looking at the attention of teachers? Do teachers then know? Because I struggle to imagine that a teacher in a class that has 110 students is not able to pay attention to each and every one of these students to ensure that they are learning, and not just reading and writing, but actually comprehending. Because for you to be able to read a sentence, there's an element of comprehension that has come into place. So I think there is a flurry of issues around here. School ecosystems, learning communities, also learning atmosphere, teacher contribution, infrastructure development. All of these things come into play.
Yeah.
And we can draw a line between this, what we're talking about now, and the story that we just did previously about these health practitioners. It's at the very foundation. If we are not dealing with the foundation... Have you seen a house that has a crack in the wall?
Yep.
What did the guy tell you? That in order to fix this thing, lazima tufanye nini?
Lazima tuanze kutoka chini, because huwezi ukaifix. But you see, we're talking about 43% who can't do it. Nimesema tu na si kwa ubaya.
We need to open our eyes to the realities of the times. That is very nice to look at pictures and look at a train that will take you from city to city, and that you say that we want to get to the place where we are developed. And this is across board. I mean, I don't even want to tell you about some of the things in Nigeria that the government, we're so far off the mark that until you sort out things at the very fundamental level, that you have no business doing all this high polloi, all things later on. Do the very basic. Do the basic. And this is what we're talking about.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Ndu, if we don't fix the basic foundation, there is no way you're saying you're moving anywhere. Because as much as you try to move up, the foundation will always let you down.
We have a lot of
And
work
I
to do.
think it's about time that we all just sat down and looked at how do we deal with this from the ground going up, not from up going down.
Lock everybody in their breakaway sessions. Lock people up in those rooms. Let's figure this out, because if we don't, we're hurtling towards a very, very bad place. Good morning. 7 a.m.
Spice up your life. This is The Situation Room, the only